asked to pay a little more.
Yeah.
So that we can establish a national investment bank to ensure a fairness of investment for manufacturing and service industries all over the country. A properly invested transport infrastructure for all parts of Britain, not just London and the South East. And I say that as somebody who represents the London constituency, and I well understand the unfairness of all of this. Your rail lines need upgrading, just like rail lines all over the country do. That is why we are going to set up a national investment bank regionally based, so there is a fairness in the distribution of those funds all over the country. And then you look at all the other things and issues that we face. Fundamentally our unfair society. I'll just cover it in a couple of subjects. In education, I'm utterly fed up with the way in which school funding formulas are so unfair that it tends to be the poorest schools in the poorest places with the poorest children achieve the less because they receive the least. It is simply not. And so we will change that and ensure there is proper funding for all schools. And I want all of our children to be properly fed, because a child coming into school hungry finds it hard to concentrate. A child coming into school hungry, finding it hard to concentrate, is less likely to succeed in primary school. Leaving primary school without all the skills they should be equipped with, less likely to do well in secondary school, less likely to do A-levels or any other qualification, less likely to get to college or university. That means a poor child growing up in poverty does not get to be the teacher, the engineer, the doctor, the lawyer, or to achieve what they want in their lives. Two people lose because of that. One is that child who hasn't achieved what they wanted in life, their ambitions. The other people who lose are all of us, because that bright child and they underachieved in life. So I am utterly determined that we will fund our schools properly, we'll pay our teachers properly and not force them to leave under stress levels that are unendurable and unbearable for so many of them. And we'll make sure they are properly fed while in primary school by giving every child a good lunch every day they're in primary school. I'm sure you agree with me, and I'm sure we all share this. Learning is about English, it is about maths, it is about science, it is about geography and history, all absolutely crucial and important subjects. But it's also about unlocking their creativity and imagination. Part of a wider community. The great African saying is, it takes a child to bring up, it takes a village to bring up a child. It takes a child to educate a village. And that is the philosophy that will be behind it. And I'm very proud of what we're doing there. And also we're going to introduce a pupil arts premium so that every child in every school can learn a musical instrument. Incredibly expert writer, one of our broadsheet papers tells me all this is unnecessary and excessive and nonsense. I'd simply say this: you do well at music, you do well at maths, you do well at maths, you do well at music. Science, music and art are not that far apart. Let's bring this up. But we also have other challenges. Students going on into university. Those who want to be nurses, held back because the government has cancelled the nurse bursary. I was talking to a group of nurses in Worcester last week. They had decided to go into nursing. They'd done other jobs, they'd done other things in their life. They wanted to go into nursing. Absolutely brilliant, because they're bringing that life experience into nursing. That's great. But they told me they could only do it because they'd got the nurse bursary to help them through the training. The Tories cancelled it. Therefore, there's going to be a shortage of nurses. Therefore, we're going to have difficulties in our NHS. A Labour government on June the 9th will bring it back. As John has been in Parliament and been around long enough to remember the days when going to university was a choice, not something you would approach with trepidation because you wonder what would happen in the future. We've looked at it, we've gone through it all very, very carefully, and we are utterly determined to get rid of student fees so that everyone can go to These things are always very important. What is also important is the way in which we approach the other issues that are facing so many. I am constantly angry and shocked by the number of people I meet in all our towns and cities who are sleeping rough, who are homeless. Those that have suffered all kinds of problems in their lives end up sleeping rough. What is it with modern Britain? What is it with modern Tory Britain that somehow or other we just condone it? We just accept it as one of those things. Sorry, it's not. It hasn't always been like that. And so, we're going to have a housing strategy that does support the homeless, that does make sure are a symptom of the problem, a symptom of a country that has not developed enough secure lifetime tenancy council housing, that has not ensured that those that want to buy get a chance because the deposits are too high or their income too low, and those that are living in the private rented sector in some parts of the country pay far too much, in all parts of the country are living in an insecure way and an insecure place. And so next week in Birmingham we'll be launching our comprehensive housing strategy to support the homeless, to give them somewhere to live, to build the council housing we need. We want 1 million new homes in 5 years, half of which will be council housing, and we want to regulate the private rented sector and ensure those who want to buy are able to get I do not measure the success of a housing policy by the number of big-time investors that can buy luxury homes in London and the South East and keep them empty while the prices rise and sell them on without them ever being used. There's something offensive about places being sold empty while those people and it's also the world in which we live. We are faced, our generation, we are faced with the issues of climate change, we're faced with the issues of environmental destruction and of sustainability. I have a very strong view on all of this. I want to lead a government that develops an energy policy where 60% of our power is generated from renewable sources. Our ecosystems and does play its part in understanding and supporting global emission agreements and doing everything we can to protect this planet on which we all live. And so you'll find a government that is serious about environmental policies and politics and serious about sustainability. Because we need to leave this planet in a better state for our children and grandchildren than all of this is not romantic optimism. What it is serious about people's lives, serious about our community. communities and serious about how we invest in our economy. And that's where I started my short contribution here today. But it's also about what we do to convince people between now and June the 8th, how they're going to vote and what choice they're going to make. Since this campaign started, I've now done 41 events all around the country. And the numbers of people coming are enormous. And if you look around yourselves at this crowd here today, we're young, we're old, we're black, we're white, we're women, we're men, we're every part of our community. You can legislate to improve education, you can spend money to improve housing. You can invest to improve our economy and give better rights at work. You can do many of those things. What we can also do is understand the crises people go through. I'm very proud of the section of our manifesto on mental health. And if Brian has spoke this morning in Brentford at our launch about his own problems in his own life and what he was trying to do about it and what he was trying to do to help others. Just as much as those people that are living difficult lives with mental health, waiting months to get support, they need help, and we need a mental health service that works for them. We also need to recognise that those that rely on pensions in older age need the security of a triple lock. We will guarantee the triple lock for all pensioners. And we also recognise the way in which the WASPy women have been so short-changed by this government and will indeed deliver for them. Because I am determined that at the end of the period of a Labour government, this will be a society not riven by injustice, inequality, unnecessary poverty and underachievement of so many of our people, but will instead be stronger communities, stronger public services, a more efficient economy that works for all, with a real living wage for all of £10 an hour. None of this will be achieved if we're not registered to vote and don't vote. None of this will be achieved if we don't ensure that we gain constituencies we don't hold at the moment. This place is historic beyond belief in political terms. The political battles for the Colne Valley go back 100 years and more. I've read much of the history of it, but I haven't got time to give you all of that now. But in the steps of those that went before, to gain a victory, for justice, for social justice, for decent housing, decent health, and a decent caring society, I invite you all to get behind Selma, work with her, knock on those doors, get we will know the good news, but this area once again returns to the Labour fold, and you have a Labour MP to represent you. Hasn't managed to make it from the bus to my house, but Selma now has one, which I will hold up. There you are. Not the few. That's our slogan, that's our watchword, that's our message, that's our inspiration. Go for it! Thank you!